Welcome back to session 109, Movie Mental Breakdown. Tonight we will be reviewing Hustle and Flow 2005. Today's mood music is brought to you by the characters themselves. DJay and Shug is hard out here for a pimp.
Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you.
See how she do us? See how she do us.
Okay, so y'all know we love movie mental breakdown. However, we have already recorded this and it was phenomenal. But there is zero sound on that video.
We was dressed up and everything.
And you just get body language. That's it. That's and hand movements.
So unfortunately, we are here again recording this for the second time. And we just found out today it had no sound. So here we go. We all know we normally start off with telling y'all who is in the film. So DJay is played by Terrence Howard. Our girl Taraji P. Henson, who you know has been in umpteen movies we've reviewed, plays Shug. Taryn Manning plays Nola. Anthony Anderson plays Keys. DJ Qualls plays Shelby. Paula Jai Parker plays Lexi. Elise Neal plays Yvette. And Skinny Black is played by Ludacris. And then we have two, kind of fallen soldiers, as you would say. Isaac Hayes, who plays Arnel. And DJ Paul is just the silent neighbor. And then this film was produced by John Singleton. So rest in peace to both of those individuals there. All right. So we're going to jump into it. And y'all, please feel free to comment and, discuss as we are, because we want to since we're doing a live, we want it to be interactive as much as possible.
We know it was last minute, but, y'all in there. So come on, join in.
Come on in the room.
Yes.
All right, so this movie starts off with DJay and Nola sitting in the vehicle, and they having this existential,
this weird conversation.
Yes, and what you learn eventually is that she kind of wants to do more with her life.
Yeah.
However, he is a PIMP. So he got to keep her motivated to do her job, essentially.
Yes.
So he's giving her this parable about how, man is like a dog and mankind and Maine. I forgot because they from Memphis. So
yeah, Maine.
Yeah, Maine. All right, Maine. So he's giving her this analogy about how men are like dogs. They're very territorial. They don't know about life. They're very in the here and now. But mankind is much more abstract. They think about, the future. They have history. There's more to us than just our primal instincts. And I was thinking, at first it feels like some you just trying to get over kind of stuff.
There's a little hoteppy at first.
It is.
Yeah. Tiptoeing on it.
Very closely. But I do like that it's at least trying to indulge her some.
And this is the first time, of course, we heard him ask her, what do you want to do? And you're going to hear him ask her that several times. So that's when we realize, oh, no, you're really invested in what she wants to do.
Yes. If you guys will not be able to pick up, this whole movie is about existential crisis. Because
each one of them.
Every single character that has significant speaking lines is having some sort of internal battle about where they are, who they are, and where they want to be, where they want to go, and where they want to be.
Straight up midlife crisis.
Yes. So if you haven't already, go back and check the session from earlier this month about midlife crisis. All right. So then a guy pulls up. And, again, they PIMPing.
Yes, they are.
And, I was thinking for them to be sitting there on the street and some random guy just pulls up. How do you get involved in a lifestyle like that, where everybody just knows it's an unspoken, rule. Everybody understands what it is. Like,
of course, I'm assuming these are like repeat customers. But how did you become like the first time customer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
But then I would assume that like it would be something like just him, people knowing who he is, and getting his name out there.
Absolutely.
Marketing.
That is the
I
ultimate
don't really
marketing.
think that is how that works. When I say marketing, he's marketing his name, so they know that who he is.
Got
you. Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
So after this, they do a little bit of riding around town, and DJay ends up at Arnel's bar.
Mm-hmm.
And in true fashion, the second he walks in, he got to rough somebody up like boom, as soon as they walk in the door.
Like, fam, I got you.
Yes. And I was just like, okay, so we get an introduction to what this version of hood life looks like.
He on some real whoop that get him.
Yes. And you can tell the relationship that him and Arnel had. So I don't know if this man's like a father figure to him.
I thought it was his uncle.
Oh, was he his uncle?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I thought it was his uncle.
Because we watched this film like a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
I'm going to be a little shady and salty throughout. Sorry, guys.
I just remember it being someone who was influential in his life, because he didn't mention him in reference to his parents or anything. So
yeah, but you can tell that they have that type of fatherly relationship, and that DJay really does respect Arnel, and that Arnel cares about him because he puts him on to Skinny Black coming into town. And Skinny Black is a person that, made it out through the rap game. And he's coming back to town for some reason or another.
4th of July.
For 4th of July. And he tells him so that, DJay can, like, get in there. But he asks him, does he know him? And we will later learn this was not, he started off telling the truth, and the truth started getting bent a little bit as the story went on. But he started off with, I know of him, but we don't necessarily know each other.
Yeah.
But again.
But that's what he told his uncle. That ain't what he told Keys later on.
Right. Arnel also tells him that the bar just got bought out. So that's part of the celebration that's going to be happening 4th of July. That, they're turning it into something. I can't remember what it was, but that, he was like, look, I'm done with this. I'm about to move on. So I think that, again, every character in this film is having some sort of life transition. And Arnel's just seems to be more like, I'm ready to move down to Florida and buy my bungalow. like the Golden Girls say.
Right.
So then it switches over to the Bucket Naked Club, and DJay walks in, and Alexis, or Lexi as they seem to call her throughout the film, is there, doing her thing. She is,
making her shmoney.
Yeah, she's doing strange for that piece of change. And he came in with a like, hey, I need to talk to you.
I'm like, sir, you interrupting her game.
Yes.
She was about to get all this man's money.
Yeah. And the thing there, I think it shows that power dynamic that exists in a relationship like that. But it was almost as if, and we'll see this with the other ladies, but she is more of the, like, I want to be up.
She wants the spotlight. She wants to be an equal. And in that lifestyle, ain't no equal.
No.
You would have to become the madam to his pimp. And even then, that's not gonna work out.
Right. So she was getting a little mouthy with him because she had not made her money yet, and she didn't have her payout, which I understood. What I did like about her is that she's like, look, you want me to make money. I have not made money. So why are you stopping me from doing what I need to do to provide? Now, her method for saying this was
tacky.
and this is a theme for her throughout
Mhm.
throughout her time in the film.
Mhm.
But I did appreciate that, like, look, she understood the assignment. She understands what they got to be doing, where they're going, and like, if you stop that, we're not gonna have money for nothing. Because
Right.
when we see where they live, obviously these are not the most high dollar, high end version of what this could be.
Mhm. Yeah, that's clear.
So she also makes it clear that she wants to work during the daytime.
The
nighttime, and she's working during the day. And as everybody knows, that the strip club is not going to make the most money during the day.
Mhm.
Most of the money is going to be made at night, when people get off work. I imagine on the weekends too, when people are free and get paid. But he doesn't want her to work during those times.
I think this is really the second time, but it's one of those first times that we're noticing how he cares for the women that he has, instead of it being a stereotypical pimp and prostitute, a pimp and stripper, or, whatever you want to call it. Like, he actually has a lot of integrity with the way he deals with them, and that's not something that we typically see in this type of relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Outside of the strip club, there is a fiend of sorts that likes, the modified cocaine. And he is trying to sell or trade, actually, and barter with DJay for this little tiny little Casio keyboard. And they eventually come to an agreement. He gives him the stuff, and the guy gives him the keyboard. And I wasn't sure if this was like a nostalgic moment for him, or, excuse me, if it was a moment that kind of just opened up a door. But you can clearly see, like, this is the beginning of his dive into, okay, where am I going with my life? Like, this is, I think, the stage one of his existential crisis.
I think it's a little bit of both, because he does mention how he used to have one, and what it made him feel. And so I think he's looking at things in a different perspective than, this is all I'm going to be able to do. It's like, oh, here's another option. It's the beginnings of that.
Yeah. And you can see the wheels turning for real. So they go back to the house, and we meet Shug and Lexi's baby. Shug tells him that she was able to get an extension on the light bill, and you can see now that this is despite all their flaws, this family unit of sorts, chosen family is struggling. And if she had to get an extension on the light bill, Shug is pregnant, so she's not able to go out and make money like she used to. And he starts to feel upset about where his life is, and like what's going on with them.
But he having a conversation by himself.
He is. He really is. And Lexi wants to go pick up her baby and spend time with her baby. And then Shug is like, look, I just put him down. Please don't. But no, because she wants to be like the front person, and you can't tell me what to do, and this is my baby. And
the baby did as babies do, cry because she woke him up.
Yes. And then what did she proceed to do? Give him to DJay.
Like, why did you even wake him up, ma'am? Like, there was no reason. You could have just saw him in the morning, or when he wake up in the middle of the night hungry.
And this was one of those moments where her needs outweighed the need of the situation that was present. Your child was asleep. It's obviously nighttime at this point, and they need that rest, but you wanted what you wanted, so that where your child was, what they needed in that moment didn't matter.
Yeah. Or what anybody else in the house needed didn't matter, because Shug had just put him down.
And it was a quiet time.
Exactly.
And then I wonder if spending time with him really even mattered to you, because then you immediately gave him to DJay.
Talking about something you was getting ready to take a shower. Why didn't you do that first? Do that first. So hopefully you would have got sleepy and just went to bed.
Because she was doing the most, clearly.
Right. But I did appreciate the fact that DJ took the baby. Like, he didn't fuss or, cuss her out or anything like that. He just took the baby and just let him join in with him playing the little Casio.
He did. And he did tell him, don't cry like no bitch, man. I said, why are you talking to the baby like that? Oh, Lord. I was like, oh, no.
You going to get that boy a twitch. Like, Lord Jesus.
But, raising children in that life and in that environment is very different than raising children, especially if you're affluent or even, working class. Some of the experiences you have, the way your parents raised you, it's a much harsher lifestyle. So it's not odd to hear or see somebody speak like that, but it is. Luckily, we're watching a movie. It is like, well, dang, okay, he's just a baby. Right. He didn't look to be no more than like maybe a year, 18 months at the most. So that's that. We move on to the next scene. They are
pause.
But
because y'all not gonna forget the fact that she came back there and snatched that child up after he done calmed down.
Oh, he did.
Give me my baby. This my baby. And it's just like, girl, you did all of it. You woke him up. You got him crying. Gave him to DJ. He calmed him down. They having a good old time. Then you come snatch him again. This baby is gonna have some.
And he immediately started
crying.
He
don't like her.
He didn't.
Right.
Because as soon as he saw her, he was like,
yeah.
You're so right. Yeah.
Yeah, that broke my little heart. Because I'm like, he's fine. Leave him alone.
That's one of those relationships that you're like, I hope that he turns out okay. Throwback to like Poetic Justice, when we were looking at how they were fighting in front of the kids, and like you can just tell, like, oh, I can see so many diagnoses developing here. This is another child where you can see like there's several diagnoses that have the potential to develop because of the way his mother seems to treat him, and then the lack of stability that's there.
Yeah.
So they go back to the corner. This is the next scene. So they're back on the corner, right? This is I'm gonna say Peaches. Where did I get that from?
Wrong movie.
Yes. This is DJay and Nola are back in the car because she seems to be like his out on the road girl.
Yeah.
So she is the street hustler, and then he has the club hustler. We don't know what Shug's role originally was, but Nola's is definitely the average John on the street. And there's a scene before the rest of it gets started where she takes a hit of a substance, and you can see like, in order to convince yourself to be able, for some people, now if you were doing sex work because that's what you choose to do and that's what you want to do as your profession, that is a completely different lifestyle than somebody that believes this is their only choice in survival.
Yeah.
So I say that to say that she needed something to kind of get herself
in that mindset of being able, like, I gotta do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta
reminds
perform.
me of when we did Sparkle, and like sister can't fly on one wing, so it's that thing. I gotta get myself amped up in order to do what I feel I need to do.
Yeah. Because you can only imagine some of the things that she's asked to do or forced to do. And that's a lot for your mind to take and digest.
Yeah, because the thing about it is she's willing to do it, but unwilling to do it. Like physically, I'll do it, but mentally and emotionally, I don't want to do this.
Right. Absolutely. I can't say that I would want to either.
Right.
And she also tells DJ she wants to go work in the club. Like she don't want to be. She don't want to be in the car no more. Like I don't want to be, crying in the what Future say? You can cry in the Toyota or something like that, a Honda Accord. I don't want to be in the Cutlass no more, crying because I want to go work in the club. And DJ, as sweet as he was, he tried to tell her she couldn't dance, but
She a little clumsy.
he said
he
you
said
ain't,
clumsy.
you ain't coordinated.
Yeah. What I do like about this scene is that Nola throughout the movie becomes the person that holds him accountable.
Mhm.
She be charging him up,
Yeah.
respectfully, but with a little stab.
Mhm.
And she was like, "I'm the one out here doing this. It's not you."
Mhm.
So
She
don't
was like,
you
"What
tell
you
me."
doing?" And then he's
Exactly.
like, because that's when I thought she was about to get slapped right there. Because he was like, he looked at her like, "Girl, I'm about to push your head through this glass."
Mhm. But he has good restraint.
He does.
He
But I think
definitely-
he only had that restraint because she knew how to calm him down. She had to go on to the other window and
Mhm.
go ahead and
get
that client that he couldn't get
that
Yes.
money.
But
that is proof positive on her side that, like, look, really it is me. You know, you may be the person that is the front and the face, but I'm the worker. And anybody that works in any type of, you know, corporate setting or even, you know, just a small business, yes, there are front people, there are people that run it, but it functions because of the employees.
Right.
And she is his employee, so it's only going to run if she runs it.
Yeah.
And I think he had to be humbled a little bit, as a reminder. But she, I think her, and I believe you said this, Dr. Wall, that her continuing to push him and ask him those questions is furthering that thought process that he's having on, you know, manifesting the stuff that we talk about with clients all the time. You know, what are you going to do? You say you want more, you say you want something different, but what are you going to do? Because life doesn't just happen.
No.
Yeah.
You gotta have a plan.
So they are, you know, driving on down the street, and, you know, they have like a small little montage. And then they arrive at the store, and it appears that DJ's trying to re-up, I guess.
That's his supplier.
His supplier. So he gives money to the clerk, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Keys just pops up. And he like, "Hey, man." Or, "Hey, man." And he seems as if he knows him. But DJ, I think initially was kind of like,
like he didn't remember him. Yeah.
But we're a little prompting, you know, they eventually, yeah. So they started reminiscing, you know, as people do when you meet somebody you haven't seen in a long time. And he starts to tell him something that he's interested in doing. And it just so happens, plot, that Keys is adjacent to the music industry. He does like court recordings and church recording and things like that.
Sound guy,
and he's interested in breaking in officially into the music industry,
being a producer.
So he, you know, says, "Hey, why don't you come watch what I do?" So they go to this church, and they're listening to a lady in the choir sing, and she was really singing this song. It's "Change My Name," right? That's the name of the song. You can see how immersed and invested DJ is in not only her singing, but what he's hearing.
I would imagine the words that the lyrics to that song was resonating with him. Probably, and of course, connected with her vocals, it probably was like, man, like I really do need to be doing something different, or, you know, I really do need to be changing my life. So I think that was another turn to him getting on this journey of changing his life.
It was transformative for both of them.
Yeah.
And to hear it be like in its pure form, you know, not messed over by nothing. It's just like literally just singing. And y'all know when y'all get that little prick in your heart when you be in church, or
and
then
you get that lump right there. It's like, oh, it's coming. I can't stop it. I can't stop it now.
Oh yeah, there's only maybe 2 or 3 songs that can like sorry, There's only a few that really do that, and you can see, this was a well acted moment because he became tearful.
Yeah.
And that really shows movement.
Yeah.
It's one extra step towards his ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And the shedding of who he currently is.
Yeah.
So they go back home, and he starts opening up to Shug, and Poe thinks she just don't. She's like a deer in headlights the whole.
Well, she's scared. She was scared out of her sleep. First of all,
True.
No, she the timid one.
Yeah.
You can tell she got some trauma she done endured. But in this moment, I was like, oh Lord, Taraji be making them faces like us big eyed people. We got to watch that. Don't make them so big.
Yeah, and because it almost made me wonder, like, has he not like had a real conversation with you before? Which I'm sure he probably hadn't, but it scared her to the point, like, I can't believe you even talking to me. What is going on here?
Yeah,
Agreed.
But he starts talking to her about having a midlife crisis, and you can tell that this is not something he's used to doing because he starts opening up and then.
Yeah, because she started talking to him about her bad dreams, and he the way he got up was so aggressive. I was like, "What did she say? I mean, did I miss something?"
It's too vulnerable.
Yeah,
it's too much. If you're not used to vulnerability, you're not used to revealing yourself to somebody. It can feel threatening. Even though she wasn't saying nothing that was hurtful, she was like, "Oh, we're gonna engage. We're gonna share. Okay, this is." Share and share alike, like they say at the daycare. But when you have no idea what that means, how to do it, it is frightening. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna either fight, flight, or freeze. And he chose flight. So then we get a little small cutscene with Keys at home, and
she was talking a mile a minute. I was like, ma'am, you're not reading the room.
No, because he was just over there like,
He was not engaged in this conversation at all.
And she need to stop lying to herself. She didn't deserve that promotion. Girl, you letting everybody do everything and they mama up in that job, and you want to be promoted to a manager? No.
And you can tell also that is translated over into their marriage because he wants to, he tells her about the music, and no, that's later.
It's later.
Yeah, that's later. Because DJay shows up to the house now.
Yeah, he tried to engage because she was like, and guess what they said? He said, what they say? I was like, yeah, y'all have no connection right now at all.
See, look, me and my husband would have had a whole different conversation after that.
Exactly.
I'd be like, whoa, what was that? Why you say it like that? True, married woman fashion. But DJay and two of the ladies show up, and
hot mess.
It
was a hot mess.
A whole mess. But so the guys go off and they start talking about being in the rap game, and DJay, you can see like the energy, the passion is getting created. And this is when people have that fire and they're like, I'm ready to go. Can we start tonight?
He even encouraged Keys to get into the song.
He did. So they, started with his little Casio, as Casios do.
I used to have a Casio. That's why I know.
Look, I used to just push the tempo button and you'd be like... So they in there grooving. They got their thing going. And then it cuts over to Yvette, Nola, and Lexi.
Oh,
Lexus. And... I don't even know how to describe how frustrating this scene was.
So the thing about it is, Yvette was clearly already uncomfortable because it's like, what is going on right now? She was already uncomfortable, and it seemed like Nola was trying to make it as comfortable as possible
Yeah.
by engaging her in a conversation.
Complimenting her.
Yeah, complimented her hair. So they started talking about hair, which,
Yeah.
typically when you are in a room with someone you don't know, you find the like most simple thing to talk
How's the weather?
Exactly. To talk about in order for y'all to like kind of warm up to each other.
Right.
And got darn the
Lexus.
other one. Yeah, her.
Well, she couldn't handle not being in the spotlight.
Exactly.
For some people, negative attention is better than no attention.
Yep. Yeah.
So I'm going to get it by any means necessary.
She'd have got mollywopped if I was Yvette, because, ma'am, you sitting over here with your whole vagina meat out.
Mm-hmm.
Your labia.
She did the basic instinct on them.
Mm-hmm.
Legs open, squishing down. And then you are like attacking your supposed sister, in the house.
Yeah.
But then you also rude to the lady of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When your pimp is trying to do something, get some more money coming in the house.
Exactly. And this lady has done nothing to you.
Right. Y'all
She
at
actually
her house.
she invited y'all in.
Because you two could have sat outside. I ain't got nothing to do with y'all. He got to talk to him.
Right. But no, because it ain't about you.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I have to divert that attention to be about me. It's giving me slight histrionic vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that don't know what histrionic is, this is a very quick Psych 101. These are people that are very over sexualized. They like to be the center of attention, very wild in their demeanor and personality. What else about histrionic? May dress provocatively.
Flirtatious.
Very flirtatious. So that she's giving me those vibes kind of intermixed with some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But she's very much giving pick me vibes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Good one.
Mm-hmm. So of course Yvette finally's like, yeah, I'm done with this. Get these mofos out my house.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes and interrupts them because they in there like grooving.
Right.
So then after that,
I'm sorry.
what?
Shake it fast, real fast. Fast.
So that was and they was in that thing too.
They was
in it.
They
didn't even know this. Well, Keys didn't know his wife came in.
But when lightning strikes, you gotta move. You gotta go. And they could both feel lightning. When people say, "Oh, they have the hair standing up," they could feel like we about to hit it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but something that also happened in that particular scene was that Keys was talking about the difference between walkers and talkers, and what he has found in his, career in the music industry, that he has matched himself up with a lot of talkers, and that leaves him by himself. And he was like, "What are you gonna be doing?" And then he was like,
"Well, his wife came and said," she said, "What you doing?" He said, "Walking."
I love it. Well, that explains exactly what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're walking. And in order to change your life, you have to.
Yeah.
Again, like we said earlier, life just doesn't happen. Great things and good things just don't happen generally. Of course, sometimes you have luck. But for the most part, you got to create the life that you want.
You do.
And
it's not always easy.
Yeah. So that's what they're trying to do, is create the life that they want. So then we get a little montage, and they start making their little makeshift studio with the egg cartons and everything.
And everybody chipping in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All I'm trying to say is, I told Dr. Strickland today for us to have some soundproofing, we should get some of those drink carts, some drink holders for me. That's what they did. We should just do it so we can have some soundproofing.
Who is to put that on these beautiful walls? And have to take it down?
I'm just saying, since nobody want to donate none.
Hey, start that Patreon.
Okay.
So they making their little makeshift studio, and you can see, like you both were saying, like everybody's invested. Like this is a group
even the girls
effort. Yeah. And that's what you want. Like, this is when we talked about having a tribe.
Yeah.
This is a visualization of having a tribe, of having people there that are for you and understand what you're trying to do and are invested in you and your dream.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily about me and what I'm going to get out of this. It's about the thing.
Yeah.
And I like that, even though they're all struggling in their various ways, that they're able to overcome that and still go for a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
This is also the first time you hear DJ say it's hard out here for a pimp, which I was like,
A little foreshadowing.
A little foreshadowing. And you also get here in the midst of this montage where I almost called her baby. Nola, thank you. She says that she wants something to do, that everybody else has something that they're doing, some part of this thing growing, and he calls her his primary investor. And I like that. I was like, he is a real motivational speaker. That's really what you should have been out here doing.
Right.
Been Tony Robbins and it up in here. But he calls her his primary investor, which in some aspects she really is.
Yeah. She's the one making the most money.
That's right.
So how you getting all this stuff? Your primary investor. And anybody knows anything about venture capitalists, it take money, as they say, to make money. So she is getting money so that they can spend it. And he really shows her like, no, I need you to say that we're in charge, or I'm in charge. And he was like, I want to believe you. Like, I want you to really show me that you're down for this.
Yeah.
And that you understand what we're trying to do. And it's not me out here just trying to take advantage of you, that I am planning something for us.
Yeah. It was a ghetto affirmation.
It was.
Y'all know when we recorded it the first time, the same thing popped up in my head. I pull up in the club feet. It's the ghetto affirmations. We gonna always have a word to pass on to everybody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, life be hard.
It's hard out here. As we will get to a moment. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust myself from the seat. But she was a little hesitant at first, but eventually she got there to a point where she really did say it to a point to where he believed it. And I think she believed. Yes,
we in charge.
Her little country self. So we go back to Key's house, and him and his wife are having a little tiff. Excuse me, because one of the things that he says, he's tired of people not believing in him.
Yeah.
And thinking he can't do something. But his wife is also tired in like going for the pipe dream.
Yeah.
You know, you've been wanting to do this. It hasn't panned out. And at some point, as the spouse, she's like, look, you have to give it up at some point. Like somewhere, somehow, this is just not moving in any direction. But when somebody feels that lightning, you can't talk them out of it. So she doesn't try to.
Yeah, she doesn't try. And the thing about it is, it's hard to balance that out, to support or not to support, or to just say nothing and just just see what's going to happen. Because this was actually the time that he is going to make it. But all the other times, it's like, I supported you and it didn't happen. So like, I'm being disappointed too.
Yeah, I do like the fact that he's not the stereotypical person still trying to make it. He's working a real job that he goes to every day that he's supposed to go to. He's providing. He needs to probably communicate a bit more with his wife so that they can figure out, you know, what they need from each other in this stressed part, especially because she's also having her own need to move up in her job. And I think that would probably be the only thing I would say could have used some work.
So next scene, we get they're back at the house, and they're continuing their efforts in the, you know, sound and getting the studio all set up. And Keys kind of says like, look, we need somebody that's really gonna be able to mix and do all this. It's one thing to have a song, but if it don't sound good, then what is the point? Enters, well, actually, Shug comes to
That's
the
why I was
door.
like, enter Shug.
Shug comes to the door, and with all the timidity in the world, she splits. There's somebody at the door for you.
Yes. I don't think he want that.
Because DJay is like, well, like,
Handle it. You know what to do.
and she like, nah, this for you.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't get me involved in none of that. And then we see Shelby standing at the door with his. He could not look more like a white man if I could dream up one. And
But the look of the outside, like, am I being punked from DJay?
yes,
It's like, because if you don't know anything about this area that they live in, it is not for Shelby.
No. Shelby looks like he is a Jehovah Witness going on his first bike ride to minister to the sinners. That's what Shelby
Not the
looks
first
like.
one.
First.
Okay. All right.
Because he ain't even got the thing on yet.
Yeah.
But Keys tells him like, hey, he cool. Let him in. Like, you gonna be surprised. Look, don't let the outside fool you. Because, it's some sinners got soul too. So he got a little soul in there. And they get into going with the music and they start rapping, and he is like really going hard. And this is when we get the first anthem. Everybody know this one. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. And
the radio edit.
I was going to say that's the change. Because it wasn't that.
Beat
first.
that.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
So I could appreciate here where DJay was open to criticism and change. And he was flexible.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that takes a lot when you believe heavily in something that you've created. For somebody to say something critical about it, I mean, it make you feel some kind of way. It ruffle your feathers a little bit. And to be able to swallow that pride and say, okay, is what this person's saying about me? Because a lot of times we take it personal as if it's a reflection of me.
Yeah.
When in reality, no, it's a reflection of what the thing is, and it has nothing to do with you.
And I could also appreciate how Shelby approached it too. He didn't attack him.
No.
He was like, we got to find something that's going to be able to make it on the radio. So he put it up. He literally did put it about the music.
Yeah. And I think that helped disarm DJay.
Exactly.
So then after they get the anthem and they got the whoop the trick and everything, this is when they go to
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace.
Skating rink. Come on, y'all.
Look at her.
Oh,
Come back.
okay. Yeah, that was every weekend.
Yeah, it was like she went back to like 9th grade, 10th grade for a second there.
Set it up on the left, y'all. Okay.
Oh wow, I haven't heard that song in a long time. Oh my god! Now I gotta go download that. So they're talking in the car, and it looks like DJay and Nola are feeling each other a little bit.
Shelby.
Shelby and Nola.
Yeah, don't be calling him his
real name. Yes, because Shelby's real name is DJay. So it looks like Shelby and Nola are feeling each other a little bit. And then Keys and DJay, the character, are in the car just kind of, smoking and talking about just life and this whole thing here. And
Keys seem to have I don't know if it's a revelation or just speaking it out loud that he has a good woman. And when they was in the car, I was like, Keys, you married. You not single? I think sir,
you better get to the house.
You better get to the house. Yvette ain't playing with you.
No,
she's not gonna take the fact that you done let little Shelby convince you to go out here and puff pass,
right?
Just because he said everybody has the right to contribute a verse. He got to go home,
right?
Yeah,
he got a whole wife.
But I like that he's thinking about what the impact of his dreams have had on his wife.
Yeah.
That he was saying that I may have sold her basically like a bill of goods. So this has to work. Because if it doesn't, then who knows what's going to happen with my relationship from here. So this has got to work. DJay also believes and tells Keys that he thinks that he can talk Skinny Black into taking their demo. And he asked, this is where we get the second version of how does he know Skinny Black. So he somewhat says the same thing, but puts a little twist on it. But hints and suggests that they know each other a little bit.
I also like how the directors and producers of this movie showed us integral scenes that coincide with later songs that are written. So, the one that this one is attached to is It Ain't Over, which is the most depressing song on the whole soundtrack. But I like that things match up and it's not just this random music.
Absolutely. So they go back to the house and Lexus is
on fire.
Head.
She was, oh my goodness. She was on one.
For real.
Yeah.
She proceeds to berate DJay like no other. Called him all kinds of names, called him out his name, talking to him crazy, inciting him to physically engage with her.
And the thing about it is she had a right to be angry.
Yes.
Not abusive.
Right. Because she ended up having to take a taxi, which took the money that she just made, because he didn't come and pick her up.
Right. Agreed. I agree with both of y'all. You have every right to be upset. You do not have the right to hurt other people because you are upset.
She did not communicate her emotions appropriately at all. Like, because this whole scene didn't have to happen. It could have went a completely different way by effectively communicating, and it still would not have taken away from your feelings.
No.
Yeah, this is poor communication skills mixed with low emotional intelligence. And she needed something from him. She needed to be comforted and validated, and
she didn't know how to ask for that.
It was just an immediate barrage of, I'm gonna beat you down. And you talking to somebody from Memphis, Tennessee, and that's not the way you get that from them.
Yeah, because if she needed comfort, if she needed validation, she was definitely not going to get it like that.
No. But again, when you have low emotional intelligence, you don't know how to ask for the thing that you need.
Yeah.
And you may not even know fully that you need it. I'm feeling something, I need to express something, but I don't know what I need or want to reduce the feeling that I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So it was just a recipe for disaster to begin with. So she does start to get in his face, and he yoked her up a little bit. Not nothing over the top violent, but he did yoke her up a little bit and kicked her out.
And the baby.
And he was gentle. Bed. He was very gentle with the baby, and I like that he didn't just grab the baby and
toss him. And I think that out of this whole movie and scene, that's the only part I wish would have been different. Like, even though I know it's still, she probably would not have allowed it to happen, I wish she would have been like, you go and find somewhere to stay, and we'll keep the baby until you find somewhere to stay, and then you come and get it. Now, granted, she probably would not have gone for that, so he wouldn't have been able to follow through with that anyway, but still.
No, he needed to clean house.
She
when we was younger and went to school, and they'd be like, which of these is not like the others? It's her. It's Lexus. Okay?
Yeah.
She would have sabotaged every single thing that they were working towards. She was already doing it.
Yeah.
Creating a lot of conflict. How we saw in the locker room scene, her getting comforted and her being able to be soft and be like that. I think she wanted all of that to herself, and that's just not... That's not what DJay was willing to give to her.
So she left, and you can see how torn up the rest of the ladies are.
Yeah.
That, it seems as if this is not something that is the norm in their household,
Mhm.
and this may have been either the first or one of few times where things escalated to that level, because they looked really shaken up.
They did.
Yeah, trembling, like
In the corner,
They
closed
it
in.
seemed like they both had a trauma response.
yeah. And he was looking like, dang, I done hurt them now. But at the end of the day, everybody got to own their part, but this was not initiated by anybody that was still in the house. It was initiated by Lexus.
Yeah. So then we get on to the next part where we're getting ready to get the "It's Hard Out Here" for a pimp song. But the girls are fighting, not the ladies, but the girls are fighting because they all want this so bad, and when you have a goal and you see and you're passionate about it, you're very sensitive to everything. And when you get really sensitive to your environment, it can make you edgy and short with people, and you don't necessarily hear what everybody's trying to say.
Yeah.
So it was the way Keys hit DJay though for me.
Boy, I don't think Terrence, not DJay, Terrence was prepared for that.
No, because it really almost looked like a for real punch.
It does.
And the way he flew, I was like, oh, he almost hit his head for real.
Yeah,
because he did the real stumble.
He did.
I was like, oh shoot, Anthony Anderson has got them hands.
Because I think I would have had to push Shelby out to the side. Sir, now you can ready to get these hands.
But I think that shows more DJay's character. He's really kind of like,
it doesn't seem like he was,
of like how he is taking stuff, how he's coming across. He ain't perfect, but he's like, this is still my friend, so I don't need to be going.
He doesn't seem much like a fighter. Like that's probably like his last result. You know what I mean? Like he don't really fight like that.
Yeah. But then here comes Shug to lighten the mood.
I know, she's so
literally
sweet.
And she was like, I saw this on the video.
She was watching TV and Skinny Black popped up.
Oh yeah, and he had this in the studio. So she gave them a lava lamp, and she was just so proud of her little lava lamp. And she, she sat on the table and she's like, okay, all right. And she just kind of backs out the room. And it was, sometimes you just need that break in the chain just enough for the whole energy to shift. Because it was as if she really was the calming presence to remove all of that, potentially aggressive,
negative energy
that was building up inside that room. And later on, we'll see how DJay reacts to Shug. But I think in that moment, that was the seedling that was planted on how he feels about her.
I think he realized how much she brings to their family and to the relationship that he has, as well as she's very accommodating to everybody that comes in. She been taking care of somebody else's kid this whole time, singing the lullabies. She just has a very nurturing, caring spirit.
Yeah, and the thing about it is her inserts are very subtle. And it seems like she pays attention to the smallest details. And though, of course they say, it's the little things that count. And those little things that she presents and brings to the house or group or whatever, it seemed to be the very thing that they needed in that moment.
Oh, exactly. She was the magical Negro. Go back and listen to Trope Trippin' too. And one. So she lightens the mood. They go back to, recording. And DJay says, I'm sorry, Shelby says, look, we need a hook. Like, we cannot release just rapping, and you don't have a hook. So he, DJay like, oh, well, what you mean? I don't know about no hook. So Shelby's like, look, let's just ask Shug. So Shug comes in, and her poor little self, she's so scared. But I think Shelby was what she needed initially in that moment.
Yeah.
To give her the courage to even attempt singing.
Yeah.
The hook.
But hold on. This is when is this when DJ Paul they heard the music playing from DJ Paul's house?
Yes.
Before she started recording?
It's after.
Is it after?
It's after.
Okay.
It's after.
So, you know, she's singing. Of course, she's very timid in her singing initially. And then DJ comes over there and I guess like pops her on behind or something.
I couldn't tell if it was
she liked it.
Obviously, because she got it together.
He told her,
dominance
"Rough
and
her."
submission,
Okay.
you know.
He said, "Girl, you better sing that from the bottom of your soul. What
Push
you in
it
here,
out. Push it out.
what you in here doing, girl?" So she was like, "Okay." So then that's
and he
what
stayed. He didn't just pop her and walk off. He stayed.
And gave her sustained eye contact. Because I think Shelby is what she needed initially to have the courage to do it.
But
all.
But DJ was her confidence.
Right.
And it showed that he was okay with it, which is extremely important to her, how each person in the home feels.
Yeah. Because she even asked him if he was okay with her changing the word.
Can I say phone?
And he was like, "Yeah."
Just like that too.
Can I say phone?
And he's like, "Yeah." So she sings it. She lays the hook, and then as they're listening and stuff, they hear junk in the background because DJ is getting ready to do his part. They hear stuff in the background. So then he goes over to the neighbor's house, and you could tell he's nervous
because they done had beef.
Yeah, many a time.
Many a time. And DJ Paul comes up to the door. We don't know that's DJ Paul, of course, but he's just a silent neighbor. And DJ the character, it's a lot of DJs in this film. DJ the character is like, "Say, man, look, you mind? I got a little thing going on over here, and like I need it to be quiet. So if I slip you a little bit, you think you could hold it down for me, just for a little while?
You talking about humbling yourself, especially
did.
Especially because y'all done obviously had some beef between the two of you, and you humbled yourself, sir.
Yes. You know, in a stereotypical sense, that is a lot for a man to do. To be able to take the one down and, like you said, humble yourself that I know what I need. I know I don't want to do this because any other day you and I would be beefing. But I have a goal and I'm having an existential crisis at the moment, and I am going to swallow that because the goal that I'm trying to achieve means more than the beef you and I have.
Yeah.
We skipped over something, y'all.
We did? What?
So before this is right when Shelby and Keys kicked them out to mix everything down. Then finally come out, you know, DJ, how they gonna kick me out of my own house? But then he comes back, they get him to come back in, and then that's the first time that we see like Shug for real brighten up because she hears how she actually sounds and then introduce the noise. So
gotcha. That's the part when he comes back from
being outside
because then she could hear like she could hear herself, and it was real. I think for everybody it was real then. Like, this is a song. It's not us just doing a hobby. It's not us just dreaming. Like, this is something that can become a reality. And I think for Shug, being able to see that I'm a part of the system, like, seriously, I'm not just some punching bag emotionally, or someone to be the constant nurturer. Like, my involvement was necessary and important, and that I actually did something good. Like, I brought something beautiful in its own way, beautiful to this thing. So I appreciated her on that one. After this scene, we get a small little section here with Keys and DJ where I wouldn't say an argument, but they have a little bit of a moment where Keys is trying to explain to DJ that they need new microphones
Because it's popping.
Hint, hint, hint.
The story of our life. That they need new microphones and they don't know how to get them, because if anybody that does any type of content creation, you know that a good microphone costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And this is now, we talking in 2022 dollars now. not $2,005.
Yeah.
But a good microphone costs a lot of money. So they're going to the pawn shop, which makes sense because people do sell and pawn equipment all the time. They see two of the same, which is surprising. But I think they're $250 for the pair. I can't remember the specific number.
Yeah, it was high.
But the pawn shop owner,
nasty. He just creeped me out.
He did. You know, as they're doing their little negotiation thing, as you do with the pawn shop owner, you trying to get, they trying to make money. I'm trying to pay less money. But he looks over at Nola, and you can just see the creep vibe. But DJay, because he's a PIMP, he picked up on it. He was like, "Oh, you like that over there, huh?" And he essentially negotiated with this man for Nola to sleep with him in exchange for the microphones. He goes over to explain this to Nola, and
she big mad,
as I would be too.
That's not the way they do things.
No,
and that's not what they came there for. She said, "This is not what we came here for."
And I agree, it's a betrayal and a violation at this point, because any other thing that we do when we're in the car is because even though I don't want to necessarily do this, I have chosen to do this. What you're trying to ask me to do, I'm not choosing.
Right.
This is something, essentially, you're telling me. You're coming over here to ask me as a front, but you're really telling me that I need to do this.
So essentially, you really now are acting like a PIMP.
A real one.
A real one.
Yeah.
So she does, and she gets the microphones, and when she walks out, she is hurt. I don't even think that it's upset. She is hurt that he would put her in that position. And she told him, "I'm not your cash cow, that you do not get to do that to me." And I appreciated him wait, oh, hold on. She upset. And I may have actually, even though I had a goal, I may have gone about this in the wrong way. Because she threw that microphone to him, and he about had a heart attack.
Right. Like, I got you mad at me for these mics, and you about to break them.
Yeah. But she's steady, again, talking to him like, "I want more. This is not what I envisioned for my life. And I don't want to do this forever."
He said, "You think I want to keep pimping your pimple face ass?"
That is where we find out that she's been doing this for a really long time.
Since she's a teen, it sounds like.
Yeah, so she's over this. But I appreciate the fact that she stood up for herself. Not that she tried to change nobody or whatever, but this is where you see a real life, I'm setting a boundary, and don't you cross over it again. I don't matter how much I love you or how much I care for you, don't you do it.
Yeah.
And she wasn't disrespectful. She said what she needed to say in a way that was still appropriate, but got her point across.
Because he tried to go into the motivational speaker, and she cut that off real quick. And she let him know, there are times where I need that from you. I need that type of motivation. I need you to get inside my head. But today ain't one of them days.
And I let you. You can do that with me because I let you.
Not because I'm dumb,
right? And
I don't know what's going on,
right? Yeah.
So then we get another little small montage, and I said, so Keys is over at the house. They doing their music thing, they mixing and everything, and I said, "Ooh, Keys, if you don't get home to your wife,
you about to be signing them divorce papers."
That's exactly what I said. I was like, "You better be divorced." But his wife, I think she was like, "Look, if this is what he's going to do, let me invest in one more time. Let me put some effort towards this, because it seems like it's it really is panning out to be something.
Yeah.
So she has the little dinner plate and everything. She go over to the house and they let her in. And Sugar's like, she brought sandwiches.
She was so cute.
She was just, ain't this so nice? Like, I love the way she'd be like, I'm peeping what's going on, but I'm gonna act like I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she probably my favorite character in this movie. I ain't gonna lie.
Probably, yeah. But I like that she gave, because it opened the door for Keys to be like, oh, yeah.
Either this is a really good idea or this is about to turn south.
But even DJay was, he stepped in to
Like he's supposed to.
Yes, which I could appreciate the fact that at that moment he realized like, oh, this dude is married. Like we've been keeping him away from his wife. We can't like invite her into this space.
Shug and DJay acted as the man and woman of the house. They welcomed her in.
They really did.
They was like, yes, he been doing such a great job. Come on in, sit down and listen to what we've been doing. And luckily it was that slow song. This song wouldn't have been good, but the slow song was good. Yeah.
No, I loved it. So then they got to listen again, and they have the new mics. And DJay asks Nola to come bless the mic because she is his primary investor. And I believe that helps seal the deal more for her.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, girl, I see you. I hear what you're saying. I understand what you had to do for this. And I need your blessing to move forward.
Because it gave her a spot.
Yeah.
Like, I bought them mics.
And this is also the point in the movie where everything finally clicks together for them to be able to produce, rap, sing, have all the support around that they need. And it's like, yes, we're doing what we need to be doing.
Yeah. So now comes the time to go see Skinny Black. It's 4th of July.
I hate this.
I hate this whole little thing.
Oh, before we get into that, this is also where they start talking about, do you really for real know Skinny Black? And he has to, he did his pimp version of telling the truth. But yeah.
But he's getting ready to go see Skinny Black. So it's him and Shug in the bathroom, and he getting dressed. And my God, this man in Memphis put on a leather jacket in July. Just thinking about how hot it is right now in Texas, the thought of wearing a leather jacket
and the humidity, because the Mississippi River is there.
Oh, the mosquitoes.
With his perm or whatever he got. He done went and got his hair pressed, and she done curled
his press and curl. All of that. And even Shug is like, you sure?
You're not gonna be hot?
It's that good leather. It breathes when you walk. No, it don't.
Because she is sweating. She's sweating the whole movie, but she is like glistening.
She got
sweat
a baby powder
everywhere, and you wearing a leather jacket. But it's okay. He wanted to be fly, but he was looking real country, but he wanted to look fly.
His version.
He was from Augusta.
And Shug, once again, she came in and she gave him that chain because she seen it in the videos that all the rappers got the chain. And she even got it to spell the way he liked his name, because he's particular about the way he likes his name written out. And he melted.
Just so heartfelt, because and then she got teary-eyed and she was like, I just appreciate you so much. You
Girl,
let me sing on your song, and I know you're going to get someone real nice when you make it big. You could tell my people from Tennessee, can't you? But I just was like, I just appreciated like this soft, tender moment between the two of them. Him receiving it, her giving it, because it is a reciprocal relationship between everybody in the house, but you can tell that he's still the one that orchestrates everything. So the fact that Shug has been consistently orchestrating these little bitty gifts and things.
Yeah.
I really appreciated seeing that.
Mm-hmm. So then he go outside, he ready. But then I don't know what.
His mode.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but he was like, you know what? Hold on. And then he ran back in and he embraced his woman. Because I think that's when she became his woman then.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed her a physical representation of the things that they've been gently and subtly communicating throughout the entirety of the film. Like how focused and how attentive she is, how attentive he is and protective towards her. And it's
he
like,
even touched the belly.
He's like, wait a minute, I love her.
I love her.
Yes. So then he goes, and it's time to get to the bar. He goes to Arnel's bar to meet Skinny Black. And he is hype. He nervous, understandably so. Because, this is the potential start to the rest of his life.
Right.
So the anxiety, understandably, is going to be high in a situation like that.
Yeah.
But, oh man, Skinny Black stands up and he's like, hey man, oh my God, it's so good to see you, blah, 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 blah. And for a hot split second, DJay was like, oh, wait a minute, he do recognize me.
He remembers.
But then we see that he's talking to somebody else behind him. So then, it was the humble, like, oh,
yeah,
he really don't know me.
He wasn't talking to me.
So then, he got to go get himself pumped up, have a little drink, talk to Arnel for a little bit. And Arnel's like, look, man, get in there. Get in there. So then the DJay starts off with, the nice introduction, like the, hey, it's nice to meet you. Da, 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 da. That didn't work.
Not at all.
Nah, because DJay Black was like uber rude.
Skinny Black.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't combine them.
Yes.
He was mad disrespectful.
He was.
But us as therapists, we know that's because there's some insecurity somewhere up in there. You deflecting, sir. Get it. Deflecting and projecting.
Yes, all of that.
And displacing.
Mm-hmm. all of the defense mechanisms. So DJ's like, oh, I gotta come up with a different strategy because this one is clearly not working. Abort mission. So then he takes the I'm gonna be challenging, mildly disrespectful route to hit at Skinny Black's ego. So if we're talking about stereotypical men here, oh, no, you ain't about to call me no sucker. And say I done fell off because of my insecurities and, what I'm believing about myself.
Because he's having an identity crisis too.
Right. And that does it. He's able to sit down. They have a conversation. They drinking, reminiscing on stuff that probably didn't happen. And DJay thinks that he's like I got it. He slips the tape. He does the whole, again, he's a motivational speaker.
Yes.
So he does the whole crescendo and here's the slip of the tape.
Makes a plea. Is very heartfelt. Skinny Black, being who he is, was dishonest. But he was like, yeah, I'm definitely I'm going to listen to it, blah, blah, blah. Puts it into his little coat pocket or shirt pocket or whatever. But we soon find out.
So the DJay goes over to Arnel. So he's about to leave. It seems like the
cloud nine.
Yeah, it seems like the club is shutting down. And yes, he was, the hope, the joy and almost peace that you could see come over him because he really believed this was it.
Yeah. And then he had his thank you moment to Arnel for being a stand-up guy, being a father figure to him. You're not gonna be seeing me in here no more. I'm not gonna be doing this anymore. I'm
Next
really
time you
about
see
to
me, I'm gonna be up here.
Yes. And I was like, oh.
And the sad part is, if you've seen this movie, you already know where it's headed. Oh no. So then he's like, okay, so I'm about to head out. So I'm gonna go to the restroom, and he goes to the bathroom, and Skinny Black is on the floor,
passed out.
basically with alcohol poisoning. Essentially. Like,
Man.
He ain't got his clothes on. He got his raw butt on the nasty
Oh,
floor.
don't you? Why you? That gives me the EBGBs. You just now. Oh, I feel so dirty.
And you know how gross
Oh.
hole in the wall bathrooms be.
Oh, the grease, the
toilet paper
I just
everywhere.
I cannot think about it. Please stop giving me the image. Jesus.
And DJay does the stand-up thing and helps Skinny Black up, pulls his clothes up,
Puts his member back in his underwear.
I mean, something that you would do with a best friend. Like,
Yes.
he really like got that man
And
together.
typically what women would do for a best friend,
That's
not
true.
men.
Yes,
Because
yes.
homeboys, they'd be like, well, I got him in the car, but everything's still out.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So he got him together. But in the midst of getting him together, he happens to notice that his mixtape is in the toilet.
Because he was about to flush the toilet.
Oh, that's
like he is a stand-up. Let me flush the toilet.
And his mixtape is not only is it in the toilet.
Yeah, I was just because if it would have just been in the toilet, it could have been like, it fell out of my pocket.
And all of us that was born, prior to, maybe 1991, know what happens when you pull the ribbon out of a cassette tape. And not just like it fell out some, he pulled it, it's balled up. So, now the little ribbon, look, it's going to be all scuffed up and stuff.
It's got wet toilet paper on it.
Urine. And who knows what other else things was in that toilet. And to see him go from that to almost pleading and begging, like, please tell me.
This ain't what you did.
This ain't what I'm thinking. And then Skinny Black
wasn't too drunk.
I know. I was like, how did you even how? Why you not blacked out?
Because his mind's still working. His body just ain't working. Because he was still being his disrespectful self.
I needed him to be blacked out and passed out so you couldn't not get your butt kicked.
Because when he said what he said to DJay, this is when people say they flew into a rage.
Limbic rage.
Yeah.
That is pure lizard brain. You are not thinking. You are blacked out. You probably don't even know what happened. You have probably no real recollection of that moment because you are so filled with this feeling that started with you. You not only disrespected me, you like
stomped on my dream.
Yeah. You tore me to pieces.
Because it don't take nothing to put that tape on somebody's desk.
Or even if you didn't want to put it on a shelf. Or put it in, I think when we recorded this the first time, one of the ladies said, like, you probably have a box of demos that people have given you. Yeah. It would have done nothing to just hold it in your pocket and put it in a box of demos. Would it have still been unfair for you not to listen to it? Absolutely. But it would not have been as disrespectful as you pulling this man's tape, and you literally just got it from him not even 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
Pulling it out and throwing it in the toilet of a hole-in-the-wall club. To me, that what you're communicating is I'm below the ground that you walk on.
Even though this ended horribly, we ain't got to the end of it. I'm glad he showed his butt, literally and figuratively, because can you imagine had he listened to the tape and he said, oh, this is fire. He could have took that song, made it his own, which is something that happens in a lot of the industry.
I can see that.
Or he could have put him under him, had a whole Cash Money taken over for the 99-2000 situation, and then you in a contract you can't get yourself out of.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then the other piece of this part that broke my heart was he broke the chain.
Yes, after he cussed him.
Yeah.
He snapped. I mean, he did stuff that tape in his mouth though.
I know.
I mean, I'm not gonna say
it was stuff
support it,
but I understand.
But I understand why. Yeah.
So then, of course, they get to fighting, and then as these situations tend to escalate, the guns come out, and
Pew pew.
yeah, we got lots of pew 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 pew.
Yeah,
pew.
one of his henchmen came through the door and DJ fired back at him and
Mhm.
hit him in the arm.
So after this scuffle, DJ is going back to the house, and the police are already there. The whole neighborhood seemed to be out. Somehow, Skinny Black's people are there before DJ gets there. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even know how they know where he lives unless they follow the. I don't even know.
Probably.
But DJ is getting ready to be arrested,
Turns
and
himself in.
he turns himself in, and the ladies are crying, and
Yes.
everybody's like, "Nah, we fighting," and we see once again Anthony Anderson got them hands.
No, but tell him he got snuck. That's the problem.
Oh
yeah,
mhm.
The
DJ
dude
did,
that he grazed, who shot at him first,
Yes.
snuck him. He done folded,
Mhm.
and then all you see is Anthony Anderson flying and hanging on the man's neck. Like, ugh. I said, this is not a comedy, this part, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah. So as DJ is getting arrested and pulled back towards the car, we see Nola, and this is where, because what we forgot to say is previously in the movie, DJ had told Nola like she was the type of woman that, you know, would have the Bluetooth in her ear, and she would have her suit on, and she'd be running things.
Yeah.
So as he's getting ready to get put in a squad car, he's like, "Look, I need you to tell me you in charge. Say it with your chest, girl."
I'm in charge, D.
And she did. She held that boy
He
down.
told her he wanted to hear his song on the radio in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 semanas.
And I'm thinking, I hope y'all got multiple copies of this tape, because clearly the one that you had is
gone.
is no longer good. But of course, DJ goes to jail, and he gets visited by Keys, and they're having a discussion. He shows him that Shug had her baby. She had a little girl that she named Keisha. And he asks him, did he really know Skinny Black? And this is where he had to finally say no. And you can see the disappointment in.
However, he gave him the motivational speaker part of it. He didn't. I don't think he right out said no. He gave him a analogy. I can't remember what the analogy was. Which you said it You said it the first time we recorded it.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, he was saying when Keisha's baby comes up to him and asks, "Can she be president?" He was like, "I'm gonna tell her yeah," because he was like, "I know her mama's a hoe and her daddy is a trick, and we don't know where he at, but I'm gonna tell her she could be president." And I think Keys understood what he was meaning. Like, it don't matter. You have to. You don't crush somebody's dream. And my dream was I wanted to do this, so I needed to be able to get the team around me and rally so that we can make this happen to be able to get there. So then after they have that moment, so then Keys tells him, "Well, look, I don't know what you told Nola, but baby girl been out there grinding, literally and figuratively." So she go to the studio and she got her Bluetooth, she got her suit on, and she is ready.
Talking about man and dog.
But I'm woman, so
she was using that same motivational speech on that DJ. I said, look at that payola in full effect. But this is one of the examples we talked about, ride or die. Because she really was a ride or die for him. Now,
the healthy version.
I was like, it worked out.
Because she was checking him. It wasn't just foolish stuff.
Right. But she made her promise. She said, I'm in charge. So she did what she had to do to get his song on the radio. And I don't know if it was in 2 weeks, but she definitely got it on the radio. So then as DJ is going back to his cell, the 2 correctional officers, they recognize who he is, and he's like, "Hey, ain't this the dude that
whoop Skinny Black?"
And he like, Me, yeah. Say, man,
And they said, you got that song on the radio.
you know what it
Pull
is.
that tree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Get
why
'em.
are they going so slow? Like,
Slow-mo.
So they do the same thing. They like, man, we trying to get into the rap game. What was his name?
5-0.
50
and
and
Cell Block.
Cell Block J or something like that. So they slipped their mixtape. Hey, say, man, you think you can give it a little listen? And of course, DJ, because he don't want to be what was done to him, he take the tape,
Mm-hmm.
He said everybody got to have a dream.
turn, pan to face, zoop, with a smile, end scene.
Doom, 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 doom.
It's hard out here for people.
Yeah, no.
For the Cadillac. So we don't want no copyright, so that's all we're gonna give.
So, what is y'all's rating of the movie and any dysfunction or
Mhm.
character stuff?
So dysfunction and character stuff. If y'all have not picked up, there is plenty of PTSD running rampant in this film. Lots of childhood attachment issues, lots of insecure and disorganized attachments,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Substance abuse.
Oh yeah.
What else do I see in there?
It is important, though, as an outsider, and this is something that we typically do with our clients, is that you have to take culture into consideration.
Yes.
So you can't judge their level of healthiness or what works for them based off of what you think would work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to look at where they are at in their socioeconomic status, what part of the country that they're growing up in. And Tennessee is one of the most impoverished states in the United States. You have to also take in consideration what family looks and feels like to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that also would be something that you have to kind of understand.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are my off the dome things that I see as far as the film is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, insecurities, low self-esteem, but those aren't like diagnoses.
Those are
Symptoms.
Yeah.
Unhealthy communication patterns, all kinds of stuff. But my rating for the film overall, I think it's a 5. And I think it's a great depiction of this life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what this life can look like in its moderately healthy, moderately unhealthy version.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good balanced film, I think.
Yeah.
And the other thing, which I said in the first one, was I appreciate that they did not show sex in this film.
Yeah.
That even though these women were street workers, that they did not focus on that.
Yeah.
That it was just a part of their life, but it wasn't the crux of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it a 5. I would definitely say I like the picture that they gave of Memphis. Not that not that is country. Yes, our dialect is country. You'll lose your life.
Yes,
don't
I agree with that.
Country. But I do think that the picture that they gave of Memphis is very true. At least when I haven't been there in 14 years, but so the depiction that I remember is true to what Memphis is. Now I do know that they have expanded and grown and did some things, but and I like the picture of them showing that you can still make it.
Mm-hmm.
You can still either, whether you stay in Memphis and make it or you get out of Memphis and make it, you can make it.
Yeah, I agree.
I will definitely give it a 5 as well because of the way the different issues were depicted, the way they show chosen family, which is not always shown fully as in depth as this is. You normally see them with their birth family and then how important these other people are to them. So it's showing, a family system that is not unpopular in the Black and brown communities. You know, community is important in our
Mhm.
cultures. I also appreciated the different issues being displayed the way they were. Nothing was like too gruesome, because yes, there's a time and place for that in different movies, but you don't always want to see it depicted like that. I'm more about what the story was supposed to be about.
Mhm.
This dude from the hood is having a midlife crisis, and he's trying to figure out what to do with himself. And
Yeah.
he figured it out. He got to spend his 11 months in prison, but he figured it out.
Yeah, agreed.
And I also think that this is, you said something about family systems that jog something. Whatever family you create and have around you, everybody still has a role. There are still family roles. Family roles don't just happen in your biological family. So you definitely, even when you create your own family, you still have to pay attention to the role that you play in that family.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Okay, well, y'all got a live one again. Impromptu.
I know.
So for those that watched and attended with us this evening, we thank you for coming in and spending a portion of your late evening, early nighttime with us. And
we have another one next month.
Yes. It's a disc broad, though.
Yes.
So this one will actually be dressed up and looking decent, not like after work.
Right.
If you can't tell, that I'm a little salty. I'm a little salty.
Y'all, the video was fire.
It
really
was.
Fire.
We was looking good, because y'all know we trying to make sure that the movies we dressed for the part. Yeah, but here we are. All right.
So we hope y'all enjoyed it.
So thank you guys again for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next one.